Welcome back to the book of Genesis. Today we're going to tackle chapter 33. Jacob and Esau meet. Let's get this. Now Jacob lifted his eyes and looked, and there Esau was coming, and with him were 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the two maidservants. And he put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children behind, Rachel and Joseph last. Then he crossed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted his eyes and saw the women and children, and said, "Who are these with you?" And he said, "The children whom God has graciously given your servant." Then the maidservant came near, and their children, and bowed down. And Leah also came near with her children, and they bowed down. Afterwards Joseph and Rachel came near, and they bowed down. Then Esau said, "What do you mean by all this company which I met?" He said, These are to find favor in the sight of my Lord." Verse 9, But Esau said, "I have enough, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself." Verse 10, And Jacob said, "No, please. If I have found new favor in your sight, then receive my present from my hand, inasmuch as I have seen your face, as though I have seen the face of God. You were pleased with me." Verse 11, "Please take my blessing that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough." And he urged him, and he took it. Then Esau said, "Let us take our journey. Let us go, and I will go before you." But Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are weak, and the flocks and the herds which are nursing are with me. And if the men should drive them hard one day, all the flock will die." Verse 14, "Let my Lord go on ahead before his servant. I will lead on slowly, at a pace which the livestock go before me, and the children are able to endure until I come to my Lord in Seir." And Esau said, let me leave with you some of the people who are with me." But he said, "What need is there? Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord." Verse 16, So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir, and Jacob journeyed to Succoth, built himself a house, and made booths for his livestock. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. Verse 18, Jacob comes to Canaan. Then Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan. When he came from Padan-aram, he pitched his tent before the city, and he bought the parcel of land where he had pitched his tent from the children of Harmon, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. Then he erected an altar there and called it El Ahon Israel. And that is the end of chapter 33, a rather short little chapter. We see the entourage continuing on, and we see all Esau meeting up with his brother, and it appeared to go pretty good. And now Jacob goes to Canaan, a place where he probably shouldn't be. Then he erects an altar there and calls it El Ahon Israel. Interesting. Tackle verse 34, the Dinah incident. Interesting. All right, here we go. Let's get it. Now Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had bore to Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hittite, prince of the country saw her, he took her and lay with her and violated her. Verse 3. His soul was strongly attracted to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the young woman, and he spoke kindly to the young woman. So Shechem spoke to his father Hamor, saying, "Get me this young woman as a wife." Verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his livestock in the field, so Jacob held his peace until they came. Then Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Jacob to speak with him. And the sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, very angry, because he had done this disrespectful thing in Israel by lying with Jacob's daughter, a thing which ought not to be done. Verse 8. But Hamor spoke with them, saying, "The soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife, and make marriage with us. Give us your daughters to us, and take our daughters to yourselves. So you shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade in it, and acquire possessions for yourself in it." Then Shechem said to her father and her brothers, "Let me find favor in your eyes, and whatever you say to me I will give." Verse 12. Ask me ever so much dowry and gift, and I will give according to what you say to me. But give me the young woman as a wife. But the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father, and spoke deceitfully, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. Verse 14. And they said to them, "We cannot do this thing, to give out our sister to one who is uncircumcised, for that would be a reproach to us. But on the condition we will consent to you, if you will become as we are, if every male of you is circumcised, then we will give our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people." Verse 17. But if you will not heed us and be circumcised, then we will take our daughters and be gone. Verse 18. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. So the young man did not delay to do the thing, because he delighted in Jacob's daughter. He was more honorable than all the household of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came to the gate of their city, and spoke with the men of their city, saying, "These men are at peace with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade in it, for indeed the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us as wives, and let us give them our daughters." Verse 22. Only on this condition will the men consent to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us is circumcised as they are circumcised. Verse 23. Will not their livestock, their property, their every animal of theirs be ours? Only let us consent to them, and they will dwell with us. And all who went out of the gate of the city heeded Hamor and Shechem his son. Every male was circumcised, all who went out of the gate of the city. Verse 25. Now it came to pass on the third day, when they were in pain, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simon and Levi, Dinah's brother, each took his sword and came boldly upon the city and killed all the males. And they killed Hamor and Shechem his sons with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah from Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and plundered the city, because their sister had been defiled. Verse 28. They took their sheep, their oxen, their donkeys, what was in the city that was in the field, and all their wealth, all their little ones and all their wives. They took captive and they plundered even all that was in the houses. Then Jacob said to Simon and Levi, "You have troubled me by making me obnoxious among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And since I am few in number, they will gather themselves together against me and kill me. I shall be destroyed, my household and I." But they said, "Should he treat our sister like a harlot?" And that is the end of chapter 34. Well, chapter 34 is the story of Dinah, the Dinah incident, where she is taken and raped, literally. And all I can say about it is they are in a place where they should not be. They are in the land of the Canaanites, a place where you should not be at. And that goes all the way back to Noah, Ham, Canaan's brother, was cursed by Noah. And it should be a lesson that not to go hang out in a place that is evil. At least that's what I take from this story. So we see that it caused problems, and now Jacob is pretty upset. So now in the next chapter, chapter 35, we will see the continuing story of Jacob and continue to see the story of the early Jews in Israel. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. God bless.